A lot of people in the community will say that this is long overdue, and I agree with them. We've taken far too long to get here, but we're here, and now we need to make a success of this project for the good of football and for the entire community here in Gibraltar.
So originally, when you were looking at Europa points, you didn't think that the Victoria Stadium would be viable. Why is it the case that it can go ahead now?
Well, the objection to the Victoria Stadium as the location for our national stadium came from UEFA. They didn't believe in the project, they didn't want to invest in the project at the time. Since then, we looked at Europa in a very serious way. The community wasn't behind us on that project. We understood the reasons why and moved on from there. We listened to the concerns and the complaints and moved on. And we then looked at the site up at Lathbury, which very quickly became very obvious that the site was simply not a financially viable project for the GFA. So we went back to UEFA and we said, listen, it's either effectively it's the Victoria Stadium or nothing at all. And it was a hard negotiation, a long negotiation, which took months. But I'm happy to say that eventually UEFA have relented. They've accepted that the Victoria Stadium site should be the site for the new national stadium. And obviously we're now embarked on this very exciting project to fundamentally change the way spectators, broadcasters such as yourselves will be able to enjoy the facility here at the new Victoria Stadium.
UEFA is paying for the new stadium?
That's right. There are two financial aspects to this. The first is the purchase of the land on which the stadium is built, and UEFA and FIFA have given us full funding for that. So we have 16.5 million, 10 million of which we have already paid government. The remaining 6.5 million will be paid to government between now and the end of March 2019 as per our agreement with HMGOG. And we now embark on the construction element of the financing. We estimate that the new national stadium will cost in the region of £30 million to construct, and we are already in very advanced discussions with UEFA and FIFA on how they will help with that financing of it. What I can say on record and very clearly is that the Gibraltar taxpayer will not be asked to contribute a single penny to this project. So Gibraltar will have a new national stadium at zero cost to the taxpayer. It's a one-off. Invest in this and that's it for infrastructure in Gibraltar for generations to come. And that's the way we pitched it to UEFA and the way that they've come to understand it as well.
Tell us a little bit more about what FIFA and UEFA expect and demand from a stadium project when they invest so heavily in it.
Yeah, well, this will be a Category 4 stadium, which means it will have to meet the very highest standards of a stadium, a national stadium anywhere in Europe. Obviously the scale will be smaller, but the content of the stadium, the facilities and the services that the stadium will provide will be no different to any other Category 4 stadium or national stadium in Europe. In particular, the stadium will provide excellent broadcasting facilities, so we're looking at next generation media and broadcasting facilities within the stadium precinct. Spectator comfort is of maximum importance to UEFA and of course to ourselves. We're fully conscious that the conditions here at the current Victoria Stadium leave a lot to be desired, and I think everyone recognises that. Well, this will be a completely new scenario in the new National Stadium, where the spectators will be able to watch matches in comfort, where there will be ancillary facilities within the stadium precinct that they can enjoy. So I think we're looking at a completely different picture in terms of the football experience, the match-going experience for the spectator, for the broadcaster, and of course for the players themselves, who will now be able to enjoy the highest standards in terms of changing room facilities and other facilities in and around the stadium.
Capacity?
8,000. Now, 8,000 is the right number, we feel, for Gibraltar, for a population of 30 to 33,000. It is perhaps slightly larger than it strictly needs to be, but we've done that quite consciously. Mm-hmm. We're conscious, for instance, of the fact that this needs to be a living, breathing stadium that raises revenue for the GFA, because there will be costs that need to be met. And one of the reasons, one of the ways that we propose raising revenue is for this stadium to be able to host cultural events other than simply football matches.